Alright, so I decided to start grinding lines again for the first time in God knows how long, and one of my pick was American, towards the T57 heavy line, which I had to start on, I think, tier 5 in a light tank. This line, I'm going for the 268. I will unlock the other path as well, but the 268 line is going to be primary, and I don't really play casemate TDs very often. I didn't really like the tier 5 just because it has no hit points, so like everybody one-shots you. I didn't really like this tank either, the SU-100, until I got the 122mm D25T type gun. I'm familiar with it. I've played enough Russian tanks and heavies and stuff to have used it, the KV-85 when it first came out. And it's not very impressive except for the alpha, right? Like long reload, blah, 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 blah. But on this tank, it's actually hilarious. It just works. I don't know, it probably has slightly better gun handling than the KV-85, etc., but you don't really notice. I mean, the aim time's still atrocious. But, it's, you can one-shot tier 4s if they're unlucky enough to see you. It's the tier 5s, you just absolutely lay waste to. You can one-shot them as well. I don't even know if you see tier 4s anymore. Didn't they make it so 3 and 4 you only see +1? In any event, when you roll over 400, it's definitely something that can make a tier 5's day end very quickly. So, I don't do a lot of these non-mobile TDs, so I don't really play back here very often. But in this map, I saw everybody was going this way. I figured, see if there's going to be a firing line. It ends up working out. I end up smacking people pretty hard too. It's how this poor AMX. You'll see. He just can't win. He just gets stuck. I mean, that shot. This is not an accurate gun, so hitting him there probably was not a very exciting thing for him. So, we have a lot of people here in B2. They will start moving up at some point. I'm not moving up. I'm not going to do it. It doesn't make sense for me until there's more room to work with. Just because with this thing, you can wiggle, but bye. It's a casemate TD. It doesn't have a huge range of motion. If you get stuck, the only way you can back up is turning yourself sideways. Oh, that poor AMX gets it again. So you gotta be kind of careful. And unfortunately, the armor is not particularly impressive. It doesn't really do much. You'll bounce some lower tier stuff, but I have not found the armor to be reliable at all. But it is what it is. So this gun, you'll see I'll shoot quite a bit. The reload is really good for the alpha. To be honest, it's way better than like the KV-85 has it. So I'll shoot, and knowing I'm probably not going to hit. The AP pen, kind of crappy. I mean, for a tier 6 it's fine, but nothing to write home about. I do end up using a bunch of APCR here because I am having trouble penning the flat part of a Tiger, again, from distance, so it is what it is. So here's a good example, right? I get spotted. I do clip him for 425, which is great, but just in that moment, 2/3 of my health are gone. Right? You can't back up fast enough. So you gotta be really cautious with that. You gotta preserve your hit points. You don't really have a lot of hit points in these things, so I decided this is a bad idea. I'm gonna make sure that I don't put my butt out and get wrecked. Now it looks like they took the medium out. That's the guy that was spotting us. So now I'm gonna see if I can move back and shoot some of these heavies. I still have AP loaded. It's about to change though, because like I said, I get sick of bouncing off the front of a Tiger. Oh, and the T29. So the T29 is one of those tanks that when I was growing up playing World of Tanks, everybody talked about how great the turret was. I struggle with the hull if I'm in a lower tier tank. It really, I mean, that was coming down and it still bounced. So it's a good tank. So if you're up on that ridge and you're just shooting, beware that I could be back there and I will blind fire you for 400 hit points. It is what it is. So nobody in the world could tell where that shell went. It's mysterious. But yeah, so the team's actually doing a pretty good job. Everybody's pushing more. I I want to start moving up soon because it's just, you know, you're going to run out of damage that you can do here. I don't have a lot of hit points though, like I'm one-shottable for a lot of these tanks, so I still have to be kind of careful. But we'll make it work. So at some point I'm going to get bored and I'm going to start moving up, and it looks like my team's pushed them up to the H line, so that's good. I should be able to, you know, take another shot or two, miss, you know, like I'll take this shot. I probably shouldn't have. What are you gonna do? So, time to move up. We're ahead now by quite a bit. They're actually gonna pull it back. Oh, this is funny. Like I thought I was gonna hit this, right? Like rocking forward, but you know, I aim and I miss. So, you know, there's that. You were going to miss a lot of shots from distance. This is not an accurate gun. But again, that 400-ish damage with tier 6 is huge. It's really what the line is huge cannons. So this is the KV-85, or excuse me, the SU-85. You don't really get that feel. Once you get this gun on this tank, you start to see what this line is all about. And I'm surprised. I've actually really enjoyed this tank. I think it's kind of ridiculous. It's just, it does a lot of damage. And you can really bully the crap out of people because of that, because you just hit so hard. So again, you know, it's not the most flexible. As you can see here, I'm like, all right, I guess I'll move up. I can't really get shots on anybody. The thing that was nice about usually when you lose the town, you lose the match. But somehow, I guess we didn't lose the town by enough that it mattered, or it was kind of close, because there's nobody over there now. As you can see, though, you know, it's getting closer. It's pretty even. So even though this is not going to be the best position for me, I gotta try and help now, because we need all our cannons in the game. So luckily, there's like this rise right here that I can hide behind. This thing is pretty flat. They all are kind of low, and you can use that to your advantage. That's when you can bounce, is when just the teeniest bit of your top is peeking out. But watch it, because, you know, they can pen your cupola too. So, you know, just be aware of that. Gun depression's not horrible, but I just can't make it work here. I'm not gonna take that shot. And these guys are all playing hold down, and I'm just like, all right, well, they're not moving up. This guy is a little bit dangerous, but he's not moving up because he's scared of the people over the hill. So I'm going to turn around and just kind of take out this poor AMX that I've been beating up all match, just because I don't want somebody back there sniping. Yeah, this poor guy. Just, you know, I mean, just smacked him twice, and that's like half his hit points or more. And, you know, don't get shot by a 122mm cannon, what can I say? So now they're running out of tanks, but so are we. I mean, you know, we're only up by one, and one of our TDs seems to be in a stalemate over in G4. So I'm like, all right, I'll do what I can, make this work. And I take out that tank. This guy going around inspires me to move forward, because I figure, okay, now this is hilarious here. Should not, I mean, I'm like, that was very lucky. You know, rocked back and just caught the top of his turret, and it was nonsense. But what can you do? And the same with this, like, that's a pretty good snapshot of my tank almost flipping over forward, but it is what it is. So yeah, this line is more fun than I thought I would have, to be honest. And I think what I would say is it seems to be good if you like big guns that hit people really hard, and you just, you know, really smack them. The German line that goes to the, you know, JP100, I don't really know much about. I mean, I have the Waffle and the Gorilla 15, but I never went down the casemate line there. I know the J Panthers can be really good, so I may try them next, just to try them. But yeah, so far with this tank, seeing the power of that big gun, and it behaves so much better than the 122s on the heavy tanks. I'm really looking forward to the 152s you get a little bit later on. So, yeah, you know, like I said, I haven't ground any lines in a while. So I'm kind of back in these lower tiers, which are just absolute chaos right now. But if you know, play it chill and play it right, and you can see 2,600 damage in a tier 6 is pretty good. You really can you can punish people. There's a lot of mistakes in these lower tiers, so use those big cannons and punish them. And yeah, good luck out there.